continue with our class Halachos of others people's money. And this session and all of them should be dedicated to Repay, our dear Rabbi Lerner. His name is Yaron Ben Doris, Yehudis Basno, Ariel Ora Basana, David Shlomo Ben Sandra, and also a quick release of Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina, also Atzlacha Rabba to Giveres Hannah Bas Abraham Avinu and the whole family. Beezrat Hashem. Right, so today we continue with our class laws of others people money. Okay, and we're in section F. Let me quickly see if we can go to the list. Yeah, here's a list. And and our big topic of this section is how to return stolen property. And the topics that we discuss in A, ordinary stealing; B, stealing refusing to pay; C, stealing by capitalizing on the victim's mistake; and D, stealing by borrowing without permission. Okay, so and we are on 1 second. I think we will still on A. Okay, so next one, number 4, page 89. Stole from parents. A person stole from his parents when he was 13 years old or older, and now wishes to do Teshuvah. He must either repay his parents or inform them of what he stole and ask them to explicitly absolve him from of repayment. He may not assume that his parents automatically pardon him unless they explicitly said so. I'm not sure that we can do this or not. Okay, maybe we did not discuss it. Okay, does not know, next one, number 5, does not know who to repay. Okay, if he stole but does not know who the victims were. For example, he cheated public by packaging and stealing products. Stealing products with the full weights. Oh, wow. Or overcharge clients over the course of his career, but cannot recall who and how much. He should do as follows. First, he should determine a total amount stolen. If that is not possible, he should estimate the amount that he believes the equal or exceeds that he actually took. Then he should fund community needs that would benefit all of his victims. He cannot discharge his obligation by returning the stolen money by giving it to tzedakah, since it does not benefit the victim. For example, if most of the victims were residents of one community, he might be able to benefit them by providing money for the local community, mikvah, chatzala, library, etc. The money should be given in a quiet, anonymous manner, so that he should not receive recognition in honor for the donation. Okay, so let's stop here and try to review. Okay, so first one is stole from his parents. Person stole from his parents. Commentary regarding what is considered stealing from the parent and the family, see section A6. So meaning that they would do mind. So like if take some from the parents, if they would not mind us taking, there is no problem. Right? It was expected, and plus if they know who took it, there is no problem. But now if parents did not know who took it, maybe they did not even know that it was stolen. Right? When he was 13 years old or older, so meaning it was he was a responsible person. So if person doesn't want to do Teshuvah, so we're talking about parents. So first of all, so we cannot assume that just because they're our parents, they already forgave us. right? So we have to hear it explicitly, and it says like two possible outcomes. He must either repay his parents, right, or reform them or what he stole, and ask them explicitly absolve from repaying. Maybe, for example, if he's doing a little better, right, financially, and other siblings do not do as good, and parents would say, no, you know what, I actually, yeah, it's very nice that you tell me, so you can give me the money, right, or you can give money to his sister. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to give money to my sister. I want to give to you. So the parents can take the money, right, and give to their daughter. There is no problem, right? It's their money. So so meaning what I'm trying to say, don't assume automatically that they're going to forgive person. Okay. So unless, as it says here, explicitly forgave, right? So meaning absolve for a payment. So meaning like, mechal, meaning 3 times, like you're forgiven, right? So meaning come like with a pure heart, and it's very important when we ask forgiveness. This forgiveness must be from pure heart. So if needs to be like if we need to do something extra for it, so for sincerity, so right, we have to buy a gift or something, I don't know, something like to show that we are sincere. He must not assume that his parents automatically will pardon him unless they explicitly say so. Again, maybe siblings are fighting and they want to give. It's not like they need the money, but they want to say, look, it's from your older brother. And the sister would cry, yes, it's from him, right? That's from him, right? So that he still does not want to meet you to talk to you, but he sent the money, right? So for whatever reason, okay, no problem. Okay, so next one. 1 second, do we have any comment list? No comment list. Continue. Does not know who to repay, and that's the most common, right? Especially if a person had a business of the years. I mean, sometimes today, maybe, if person was taking accountings of all of the business and all of the business transaction are still somewhere, and it's possible. I know I'm just thinking out loud, like run through the software, like and get extract only these transactions, and see approximately like maybe he did not cheat on all of the customers, but maybe bigger customers. I don't know, something. So technically, it's possible to estimate how much a person cheated for. And I heard a few times in my life, and when I was helping a person to do Teshuvah, and the person, I said, look, I don't know like what happened, but I'm telling you the halacha. The halacha is exactly that. I said you have to like calculate minimum of the minimum. Don't don't underestimate, because if you underestimate, it's going to be still stolen money on your hands. So if you decided to do Teshuvah, right? So do it completely. Why should you like do 97%? 97% still not counted. So you have to do completely, like as much as you can. And when one person, another person calculated amount, they say it's too much. I said right. So I said no. I think I'm going to pass. So the person started communicating. So I said, so what's going on? Like, did you calculate? I think I'm going to pass. So why are you going to pass? He said it's too much. I said, well, what do you mean too much? Like that's too much that you stole. So in a person little mind, he calculates that too much he has to give to the victim. But before you have to go do to the victim, or all of these occasions, it was, I'm not going to give details whatever happened, but on all these occasions you were cheating this person. It was not cheating, he did not pay, basically, right? Yeah, I understand it's too much, but there is stolen money that you have in your possession. Yeah, I understand over the years you spend it, but still you have to pay too much. Very interesting, right? When steal from somebody, it's not too much. When give it back, it's too much. That's people's mentality, person's mentality. Right, so if you can, if you know whom to pay. Right, so now we're going to Number 5, if a person does not know whom to pay. Right, so meaning, we started it. If there are too many people, right, so that's also a problem, but it's not a problem. So it says, if he stole and does not know who victims were, cheated in the public by packaging and selling product the false weights, right. So meaning, and right, it's very, very problematic. Right, I think we said example before. Right, he was like given like, what was it saying? Like a little, absolute. What was a ketchup? I think, right, manufacture of the ketchup, just a little less, like a tiny bit. But if you think like all of these bottles that he produces every day, it's hundreds and thousands of dollars every day, right? That he cheated the public. Okay. Right. Or overcharged clients, of course, of his career, right? But can't recall whom and how much, especially when in like a small business. If it's only if only big ones, maybe it's easier, but small ones, it's almost impossible. And he should do as follows. Okay, first he should determine the total amount stolen, like approximately, like it was most likely in person's mind how much they want to make, approximately, right? So we can determine. If that is not possible, it should be estimate. He should estimate amount that he believes equals or exceed that actual he actually took. So meaning, if not, so meaning like estimate your best, but go to the like a minimum of the minimum that you think. Okay. Right. So right. Right, beliefs or exceed, right? So amount or exceeds, okay. And sometimes, like as I said, I have some experience. People start like telling me all of the stories when they see the amount approximately, like they give percentages first and then start to calculate that's too much, and now people want to back off. That's Eitz Hara. So if you decided to do Teshuvah, so you have to say to yourself, I'm going to return whatever we're going to determine. Whatever determine is a proper amount, I'm going to pay. Maybe like as a still one person still in the process. So I said, look, you can acknowledge to that person. You start paying like installments or something. Installments are easier than to pay completely. But in his case, he know exactly how much and whom. Right? It was a long time ago. Right, so continue. Then he should fund, so meaning he calculated here like that amount. Then he should fund the community needs that would benefit all of the victims. Right, all of the victims. So meaning something that everybody would take advantage of. Okay, so let's see what is the comment. It is important to know that Chazal gave us this approach because it is the best that can be done under the circumstances. Stealing cannot be fully rectified, however, until the victim compensated. So meaning, right, Chazal said give it to community needs, like if it's mostly from this community, if it's from a person was still on the internet, right, he was selling something on Amazon, I don't know, like something. So it's not his little community. So meaning in this case, I think better to invest in Kirov, right, so because people all over the world watches the video and they may get some benefit from this. Okay. But if it's local community, for sure it's local. But if somebody knows like people from whom they steal, they cannot go to the Kirov organization or to mikveh, to I don't know, some like to some funeral society. Right, the burial society and give them the money. No, it's not going to work like that. If you know from whom you stole, you have to give it to them, not to the public, for sure. All right, victim compensated. Okay. Therefore, if he knows anyone that he took from, he must repay them directly. So, right. Okay. This is in case what we're talking about here, the case the person cannot remember. A person had a grocery store, like a vegetable stand or something. Yeah, go find all of these people. Okay. Also, when he gives the money to public needs, he should be mespalel, that each and every one of the victim benefit from his money for the full extent of what he owns them. So now just to give the money, right, in this, if it's community cause, for example, if it's general cause, like kiro or something, so now a person has to pray very, very hard every day that this money actually reach the recipient, maybe the descendants or somebody from their family, that they would benefit in a sense. So it does not work without prayer, right? Have to pray. Just give money is not enough. You have to pray that this person is going to benefit. So indirectly, and if Hashem accepts this person's Teshuvah, he's going to directly channel this money that somebody close to that person, or right, is going to benefit from that. So that's the goal. Again, not to repay in general, but to if we do not know whom to give, again we give to general cause, but with intention and with hope that person is going to benefit, right? Whom a person cheated. Okay, continue. Example is if most of victims were residents of one community, he might be able to benefit them by providing money for local community mikveh, chatzala, library, etc. I'm not sure about library, but chatzala, right? Was right? So meaning all of the living would benefit. Mikveh also. Burial society, it was from me. Only if that person is poor, I think chatzala is better in this case, right? Because the money is spread for for a longer period of time, and many people can benefit. So, but if burial society, only some people can benefit, right? From the big amount even, right? So continue. Okay. The money should be given to in a quiet, anonymous manner, so that he should not receive recognition and honor for his donation. That's very important also. So this is stolen money. So a person stole and now he wants to get recognized for returning the money. No, right? It's not right. So meaning, right? If it's needed, like to give to a specific person, but person must say it's not my money. I cannot tell you whose money is it. Like doesn't matter who. Like I just want to send you the check. Somebody give it to me in cash, whatever. Make up the story, or bring cash, something. If you trust this organization or something, right? Otherwise, give him check or like a direct deposit, something to their account, and that's it. Just tell them 3 times, 17 times that it's not your money, so you would not get any recognition. Okay. And be very sincere. It's not like you're trying to pretend it's not you. Be humble. No, it's no humble here. It's not my money. Okay. So let's continue. See more. And the next one: victim not living. If the victim is no longer alive, one must make a restitution on victim's heirs. 2 heirs. Okay. So let's. It's self-contained. So again, if the victim no longer alive, he must make restitution to victim heirs. So meaning what? This money is a part of the victim's estate, right? And movable, right? So now, of course, that's this money, right? If they were in a victim's account, right? For example, bank account, it would be divided among the heirs. Okay. So that's why it's their money. So just because person died does not mean that there's no need to return or can return to the public cause. No, there's no public cause here. If we know exactly who victim is, and we know that this heirs is actually entitled to this money. Okay. So now, very interesting comment. If Gazlan is no longer alive, and Gazlan heirs inherit the item, if the obligation to return it, right? If the item is no longer in their possession, the heir must make a restitution from the money or assets of the late Gazlan estate. Okay. So let's see. So if this thief, Gazlan is a thief, right? If he died, right, and he had heirs, his sons, let's say, they receive inheritance, so they have to pay back. Of course, if they know, maybe, right, because it's not their money. So this Gazlan, their father, had no right to distribute this money. This money belongs to somebody else, right? So that's why they took somebody else's money. They have to pay back. Right, if it was an item, if no longer their possession, they must make a restitution from money, right, or assets they lay from the late Gazlan estate. So, meaning the main halacha is to return the item that person stole. If there is no item that he stole, no longer in existence, I don't know, or he stole money, and they bought food and ate or bought something, furniture. So furniture is not exactly, they're not obligated to return the furniture, so they have to return the money. Or he stole a cow or something, and he sold the cow, or they slaughtered the cow and ate it. So in this case, we go by money and the value on the day that it was stolen. Okay. So it could be more, it could be less. So let's go further. Number 7. Victim has a right to pardon him. A victim has a right to pardon the person who owns him money or who stole from him by simply saying mechal, right? Him completely. That he's mechal him completely. Sorry. This exempts the person from his obligation to pay and allows him the opportunity to do Teshuvah. The smaller the amount owed, the easier it is for the victim to be mechal. For example, it is common occurrence to lay out money for the neighbors or friends who subsequently forget or aren't responsible enough to repay the money. Since small sums are usually involved, the victim is often reticent about reminding his friends, especially if they have already reminded once or twice. Although many people find it difficult to mechal when even small amounts, for example, it is not the money, it is a principle. If the victim can overcome his reluctance and wholeheartedly pardon his friend, he will have done a great chesed to his friend and to himself as well. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter. Okay, so let's try to go over and so the main point of what we said here is a person should be sincere. And sometimes I just encountered this situation some time ago when a person was saying, and I understood from whatever, like 6 cents, that the person was not sincere. So he was a nice, very nice person, put on a spot. And then somebody was trying to take advantage, and the person said that you're forgiven. But I said to that person, you know, it's not sincere. I mean, he's nice person, but he cannot let it go. So just pay whatever needs to be paid. Just apologize, send them gifts, this and that. So because otherwise, like, I have this sense that even though he said whatever he said because of his because this is that, but deep inside he's not sincere. Well, that's the feeling that I had from the language. Okay, was I right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that, but to be on a safe side, it's better to do that, because if a person was like, as we learned before, he was cornered, right, and pushed, like and like squeezed into saying that he forgave. It's not true. It's not true, right? Right. So let's see from the beginning. The victim has a right to pardon the person who owns the money, who stole from him. Right, so before we continue, and it's actually proper when we say this bedtime shema, to forgive everyone, right? And say like just personal advice. Say like, if this person is going to come to his or her senses, I'm going to donate everything. So that's my personal formula. You can say 20%, 10%, whatever. Even though like it's clean money, meaning you already gave tzedakah from this money. But if a miracle is going to happen and Hashem is going to give me back this money, so I'm going to give to tzedakah. So I always say I forgive them completely or her completely, and if something I'm going to give 100%, and majority of the time it's actually worked out. Right? Maybe not on a small amount, but on a bigger amount, I actually paid and I gave everything to tzedakah. So it's better to give everything to tzedakah than not to see this money ever again. Okay, that's my personal approach, but it's not obligation. Okay, so commentary. Although one is not required to pardon someone who stole from him, he is required to refrain from hating him. Because there is a Torah commandment prohibiting us from harboring hate in our hearts toward our friends, even if he stole from us deliberately, causing us damage. Okay, so it's a lot to learn from this little commentary. So again, although one is not required to pardon someone who stole from him, so again, there is no such obligation. So if somebody is insistent, so and had also explained the person, so yeah, he's a religious person, she's a religious, why doing this? I said, look, they're not obligated to, like, it's their money. Why are you judging them? You took some that belonged to somebody else, and now you judging them, they want it back? That's sickness of our generations. Like everything, it's upside down, right? A person has a right to demand whatever is his or her, right? So they again, there is no such a requirement to pardon someone who stole, right? And he's required to refrain from hating them, right? So meaning this is one of the 613 commandments, not to hate somebody, our brother in our hearts. So Amisecha, who is Amisecha, who is your brother, first of all Jew, right? First of all Jew, and a Jew who is observing Torah and mitzvahs. So other people, it's allowed to hate, but I would not recommend, basically, right? If we believe that Hashem is running the world, so whatever He promised to me that I'm going to get on Rosh Hashanah, whatever He promised, I'm going to get. Nobody can steal from me, nobody can add for me. So, right, and that's an amazing thing to have bitachon. So it saves us. First, it gives a great benefit. So meaning we're going to be rewarded for just for having bitachon. And our sages explained it. I think it's a basically Levi said. We did not have clip about it, but I think we should. Beezrat Hashem. Or we had it. I don't remember. So the thing goes like that. So even a person, right? He had complete bitachon in Hashem. And he prayed and did ishtadlus. Everything was according to the plan, right? To ishtadlus requirement, not plan, and it did not work out. So it's a person should not be discouraged, and a person should not be like aggrieved of something. So I think it's Beis Levi. So he explains that just for having bitachon in Hashem, that's already a person in a win. So he's going to get a great reward. Just for him, doesn't matter the outcome. right? It was not according to our liking. Doesn't matter, right? Hashem is running the world. He knows better. And just for our having bitachon, we actually complete our mission, which is absolutely amazing. Right? So a person like this, what I'm trying to say, a person like that would not hate anybody. Why? For what? Right? Right, as I said, we block somebody, distance from somebody. So again, there is no hate. I mean, I only feel very bad for that person. Hopefully a person going to do Teshuvah and then call us back, contact us from a different number or something, and send a sincere apology and say them, I want to be a different person. But until then, like still, there is no hatred. There is no hatred. Right. Right. Continue. Torah become commanded. Right. So we cannot harbor hate. Okay. In our hearts to our friends. So again, he said friends, but we know about our fellow. Again, non-religious Jews are excluded, and non-Jews also excluded from this list. But is it recommended? Absolutely not. Right, so and he continues. So we cannot have hate in any in these cases, even installed deliberately, right, and cause us the damage, right, and especially like after Halachos, all those people, they were against buying the car, and somebody like if you would buy like German car, they would break the windows or something, like punch their tires, all of these things, like. Right, so that's a lack of bitachon. Like of course, Germany is Amalek, but to say that it's the words completely their fault, it's also a little too much. You understand? Especially now that they spend so much money to Holocaust survivors and all over the world and their children. And now on 9th of Av, we have a presentation of one person. I actually know him from a long time ago. I used to pray with his son in the same synagogue. I don't know, many years ago. Right? He moved out, and I moved out. Whatever, doesn't matter. So, but I remember him. Beautiful voice, beautiful contour, beautiful. So, and I did not know when I saw my shul actually invited him. He was serious, and I knew that he is approximately that age. So actually, I thought that he's younger, not that age, but younger. So the story was, I did not go to presentation, but I rent in the mail from Rabbi. So he's one of the miracle babies. So who is a miracle baby? He was born in a train going to concentration, Treblinka, right, to the concentration camp. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe they're going to post the story, something, but maybe there is somewhere on the internet. I think he said it before, like how they would hide him, like if Nazi would find the baby, they would kill a baby and would kill mother and everybody who were trying to hide him. And there were many babies, not maybe, but some babies like that. So women would not give up the baby and try to give extra food so the mother can feed the baby. It's unbelievable. So he was one of this baby. Right. Very, very interesting. Right. So meaning so even after this, again, Germans, they pay all of the compensations. They give so much money to the Holocaust victim. Of course, like it cannot overcompensate, but again, these people have nothing to do. Like people who live there now, government has nothing to do with Nazi Germany. Right? It's the same place, but different people. But to say it's only their problem, their like hated, not what we did. It's also not true, unfortunately, and very, very fortunately. Right. So continue. So damage. Okay. All right. So we're going back after a little detour. Right. So again, we cannot have a hatred in our heart, even if the person did damage deliberately. But still, there is no problem to receive the money. Right. To demand the money. There is no problem. Continue. So if right. Actually, from the beginning, the victim that has a right to pardon the person who owes him money, who stole from him, by simply saying that he is mechal completely, right? So meaning, if And that's I also recommend it to people. So a person says, I don't have money, and that person knows that. I said, look, just go and apologize and say, I do not have money. I owe you. I did this and this, but I don't have money. Can you forgive me, or can you give me some time? I'm going to give you. I stole $100,000 from you. I can pay you $12.50 every month. I'm not trying to humiliate you or something, but here's how much I pay rent. Like, I live in a very modest apartment. This is my bills. This is food, only bread and milk or something, cheese and some cheap food, and then that's it. That's all I eat. That's right. And still, I'll try to squeeze $12.50. The person said, forget it. Okay, so if your person is sincere, so there is no problem. But always, like, just because you don't have money does not mean don't go to and apologize. Still should go. I mean, many people they feel so bad that they're so embarrassed. The embarrassment is also like a killer, and this embarrassment is actually comes from Satan. Right? There is good embarrassment and bad embarrassment. So now you have to do a mitzvah. So we said when there is a mitzvah, be bold as a leopard, meaning, right, as we learned in different book. So what does it mean? So even though you're going to get humiliated, right, at least in your own eyes, in the eyes of other people, that family members, right, of the victim, maybe he's going to tell everybody, right, but you're doing the mitzvah. Hashem said return. I'm doing return. I'm going to get humiliated. Fine, very good. Right, let it be Teshuvah. Okay. This exempts, but if he forgive completely, this exempts the person from obligation to pay and allow him to opportunity to do Teshuvah. Right? So Teshuvah, again, between people is not complete. So Hashem forgave himself, forbade himself to forgive somebody on behalf of somebody else. So he said, no, it's between you and another person. Continue. The smallest amount owned, the smaller amount owned, it's easier it is for the victim to be mechal. So right. So if it's $10, $5, or something not significant, so it's easier for them to be mechal. So that's understandable. For example, it is a common occurrence to lay out money for the neighbors or friends who subsequently forgot. Right, so they ask, forgot my wallet. Can you lend me $10? Right, so someone in a supermarket. So okay, so they forgot, or aren't responsible enough to pay the money. So right, somebody forgot to pay the money. So today, I mean, with all the technology, I don't use much technology, almost, but simple technology I always use, like reminders. So as soon as something is going on, so I always put in myself a reminder. So when reminder tomorrow, like 10 a.m., tomorrow 1 p.m. or something. So meaning that I have to return this person money. Maybe tomorrow I'm not going to have money, so I'm going to put myself a reminder every Wednesday or every Thursday until I pay this person. Understand? Like today there is no excuse why a person should forget. Like if you know yourself, you're going to forget. Do reminder right away. A busy, right? One second. A busy or a hurried person who suspects that he might forget about repaying small, insignificant loans should try not to borrow. Very interesting. Rather than bring himself in the position, borrow and then forgetting to repay. So again, busy or a hurried person. So meaning, right, always on the run. So meaning, don't borrow. So, but I'm already in the supermarket. I forgot my wallet. I drive all the way here. So I'm not going to buy milk. Yeah, you're not going to buy milk. Okay. So right. So you can do one day without milk. For sure, you have powder milk or something at home, right? So don't. For sure. Okay. Continue. Since small sums usually involved, the victims often reticent about reminding his friend. especially if they have already been reminded once or twice. And that's also a problem. That's also a problem. So, meaning, right, this person wants his $10 back, right? So he wants say this. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, the time. Yeah, two weeks ago in the supermarket. Yeah, thank you. You helped me very much. You saved me time. This and that. Okay, so I'm going to pay you tomorrow, right? I have to run to the bank. I'm going to pay you tomorrow. And again, guess what? One time. This victim reminded twice, and then nobody wants to seem cheap in somebody else's eyes, right? Yes, I mean this $10 is very important to me. For example, I'm not a rich man, right? And I can buy a lot of things, so we can eat for a few days or something. I don't know for this $10, right? So why should I give up to somebody else, right? Right, but after a few, sometimes a person is not going to remind, and that person, who borrowed, is never going to pay. That's the problem. Commentary. It is a mitzvah to gently tell a friend to rectify something wrong that he had done. For example, forgetting to repay a small debt. However, if you feel that he will not constructively accept that you tell him and want to be mechal him instead, it is a kind thing to do. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. So it mitzvah to gently tell his friend to rectify something wrong that he had done. Okay, which is good. So you tell them, right, you took something right, one time, again twice, but especially small debts, right? However, if you feel that it's not constructive, meaning a person is going, oh, you're such a cheap, look, you remember what I did for you, you remember what I did, like, and you feel so embarrassed, and instead of like saying I apologize, I have to pay you back, right? Let me give you 20. So in one store, it was cash only business. And I would go there only Friday, like after work, I stop by and buy something. So sometimes this guy did not have change, right? So he would give me more, or said, no, you. I said, no, like I want to pay. So I don't have change. I can forget, but I know you, Jew, so you're not going to forget. And I would put myself reminder upon reminder, like as soon as I would leave the store. So it was like $1, $2, $3, $4 maybe tops, that he did not change, did not have change. But I was always like it's always always on my head, like to remember, right? Right. Even though I will put reminders in the cell phone, but still. Okay. Right, but if like you tell somebody a person is going to start making fun of you, right? So you prefer not to, so just forgive him. But next time, do not don't lend them if you don't want to. Okay. So continue. Although many people find it difficult to be mechal over small sums, although right, there is it's not money, this principle, right? I still, and we should not argue with these people. Just so you know, we should not like make fun of these people. They say whether it's principle or not principle, it's their money, right? It's not our right. We have nobody have right to take away from them, right? So even Hashem decided that they should lose money, let them lose through somebody else, not through me. I borrow this money, I have to pay back. That's it. A victim can overcome his reluctance and wholeheartedly pardon his friend. He will have done a great chesed to the friend and to himself as well. Right. So meaning to not to pardon, as we said, right? Meaning that person is going to come in reincarnation and would need to pay you money. So who needs that? So that's very important to keep in mind. Bedtime Shema, to forgive a person completely. And last commentary: the heavenly court deals with us measure for measure, midah keneged midah, in a manner that we deal with our adversaries, right? if we mechal those who are wrong us, even though they themselves are to blame, the heavenly court deals with that in the same manner. So that's very important to know, right? Again, heavenly court, right, deals with people measure for measure. Meaning, what is measure for measure means? Meaning that you decide what the law is. So if you're going to insist on your rights, that you're right and they're wrong, okay. They say a law according to you, so you're going to be judged according to your laws. So you're right, no problem, right? We also agree that you're right, but next time that you're wrong something between Hashem and yourself, so we're also not going to forgive, right? According to whom? According to your law, right? So that's it's very good to be forgiven, and I mean, just a distance, as we said, just distance from a person, and that's it. All right, so we stop here, and let's quickly introduce the chapter number 2. So all of this was chapter number 1, and chapter number 2, wages and rentals. Timely payment on wages and rentals. Okay. All right, so let's stop here.